Hey, all. So I finished putting in the rest of the door symbols in the house, and I put in the builder's dimensions on those. And this is where we're at now. There's one thing I want to make sure we point out here. So normally on a home, if it's a normal framed home, it's going to be on top of either floor joists or a slab on grade. But either way, there's going to be, for lack of a better description, a stoop in front of all the doors. Now, I do mine differently than some people. Some people just draw a line straight across the door. I don't. So I'm going to make my wall layer current. So I'm literally going to click on make current and click on a wall. And that way it changes my layer to be my wall layer. And I actually put, like, normally I do an actual like 6-inch drop stoop on my floor plans to the porch and things. Now you'll understand when we get to elevations what I'm meaning by some of this, but I'm going to just simply put a ply line that goes out from the door 3 inches. It goes 6 inches wider than the door. So if that door is 3 feet, that means that is going to be 42 inches or 3.5 feet across. And then straight back up 3 inches, and that's all there is to it. Now, what I do from here is I simply move this poly line, enter. Right, okay, let me walk you through that. I go move, pick the poly line, enter, pick a base point, point straight over and slide it a whole 3 inches. That way it's centered in the door, okay? And that represents my stoop as I step out of the building. Now I'll do this with each of the doors, okay? So it's not just a line, it's a poly line I use for, well, obvious reasons, so I can move it all in one go, honestly. And so that when I get things going, I can just slide the whole thing in one go. Now, um, one of the things I want to make sure of as I do this, though, is see our dimensions right here. If I ever end up with one like that, I'm going to move them as well. Make sure everything stays nice and clear. The biggest point of that stoop for me is this. When we dimension, if you're not dimensioning masonry, if we're dimensioning normal stick framing, I need to be able to snap to the centers of windows and doors when I do them, because rough openings vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. So we put in the dimension, the builder's dimension in the door, and then we put in the center dimension where it's going to be located, and then the builder looks at the door specifications from the manufacturer so they know what the overbuild is. Basically what the rough opening's got to be. So we're going to just leave that like that, and that's all there is to those. So our next trick is, after this, we're going to start putting in some other things, like some fixtures, some like in the bathroom, we're going to put in the bathtub, and it's an actual bathtub, and then the water closet, toilet, the lavatory, and the vanity, which is the sink and the cabinet. Okay. We'll put in the shelves in the walk-in closet and in the other closets. We'll put in a washer dryer here, the bathtub, the water closet, toilet, and the lavatory slash vanity here. And then we'll start on the kitchen. Now, this one, I kind of don't like the plan for a couple of reasons. This seems like it's a lot of wall with nothing in it, especially if this is going to be a dining area here, or if this is, because I think this is meant to be the kitchen. I would flip it sometimes and take this wall completely out if it was me doing it. But then again, you don't have access to the backyard really well here. So maybe leave the kitchen here and put a sliding door back there. Now, those are design decisions. We're not going to argue that right now. We're not even going to debate it really. We're just going to look at some ideas. And I want you to, as you look at your plans, to get a little critical of them and make those assessments. This is a good time to make those decisions, to look at it and make some of those changes, because it's not going to take a lot out of you to make those simple changes at this point. It's not going to take a lot of your time. So as you've got it laid out, you can figure out how things are going to fit roughly. Um, so literally be critical of your own work. Think about it, engage it, look at it. I'll be honest. Like I said, I don't like this layout. One reason is I don't really see a good spot to stick a refrigerator. Um, and if I do a U-shaped kitchen right here, where do I put the fridge completely? Where do I put the stove? And where do I put the sink? Those are my decision-making processes there. Washer dryer right here. Bathroom is pretty well a standard bathroom there. Standard bathroom here. It just feels a little awkward to me, but we'll talk about some of that stuff as we get going. Okay. Now, the last thing I'm doing before I take off from here is this. This house has a porch. Well, how do you draw a porch? In all honesty, you draw a porch the same way you draw a wall, but you don't have a thickness to it. You've only got the edge of the porch. So let me draw a line off here like so, and a line off here like so. Now, if I'm doing my porch, I hate to just have it line up even with the house, honestly. I don't know why. It just, for some reason, doesn't always look right to me. So I will quite often bring this out so it's got a little bit more to it, just like 3 inches, literally. Oops, didn't that. Didn't go far enough. Let's go like that, 3. There we go. And 3. And then I'm going to go like this here and move that a whole 3 inches back this way. And do the same thing over here. Line from the corner of the house straight out, move it over to my left a whole 3 inches. And then I'll use the fillet command with a radius set to 0. So I literally typed in, let me walk through that again, F enter for fillet, R for radius, and 0. Now, if I change that radius, it changes it in inches. So, but what it allows me to do is it changes the corners. See how it trimmed those back from this to this, okay? And if they don't touch, it extends them to meet. See how that works? But it keeps the side I pick on, okay? So I'm going to go back and I'm going to stretch my porch back a little bit like this. In all honesty, I'm probably going to put my steps going off the porch this way. Now, in the original plan, they came off the front. I'm not sure how I like that. I mean, if I take them straight off the front, that gives me a little bit of a seating area here. I could put a porch swing on that, or just a chair or something. So if you want to sit out and enjoy the evening or whatever, you've got that going on. This is one of the reasons I want a door back here that accesses the back of the house, because otherwise you're coming out the side door and around. This does need a window, in my opinion, though. I might add that yet. So, like I said, I start looking at the plans. I start getting critical of it right now, and I start considering how I want it to look. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Thank you. This, like I said, was a short, brief one on this turn, and we just want to let you get a good, hard look at life. So, be critical and be honest with yourself on what you like and what you don't like about your plans. Okay, bye.